Thankfully, she laughs at my obsession for the macabre. Macabre.
Macabre.
How could I have been so stupid? Of course, the cat managed to get itself possessed. It spent the whole night in the bedroom.
Of course. Boyfriend practices self-care for the first time, sees God. Babe, I took a shower today. I feel like a new man.
Howdy hools, welcome back to Spooky Reddit Stories, my favorite time of year, where we get to read some of the scariest stories that Reddit has to offer. Sometimes they're super scary, sometimes they're not so scary. We're gonna find out today. And I think that it would be a crime against humanity in the spirit of the holidays if, in Brianna's absence, I didn't have a guest on that truly loves the spook, the horror. You've heard her mentioned in stories in passing on this show. You've heard her name mentioned, but today we're gonna put a face to the name because today on Spooky Reddit Stories, welcome to the show, my beautiful girlfriend, Morgan.
Howdy ho.
We usually go by Morg, and it's not M-O-R-G, it's not M-O-R.
It's usually just how they spell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just take off the A-N.
Yeah. How do we do it?
Like the city morgue.
Like the dead people morgue.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, first, my mother named me Morgan, so that was a good basis, but it took until just after college when one of my ex-girlfriends just gave me the name Morg, and I'm like, huh. You know, I've been spooky and goth and weird all my life, and it's taken someone this long to give me that name. That nickname.
So she's going to be a perfect fit for the show, and today we're going to be reading stories off of short horror stories and r/no sleep. I'm going to be reading some scary stories to her, and she's going to react, and at the end, we're all going to collectively decide if they're good. I want to start off this one episode with a little bit of an appetizer, and this was a story from somebody that we read a story from 2 years ago, I believe. Priestess of Spiders. We read off of No Sleep, and the one that I read from her was a story called My Son's Reflection is Wrong. And it was just, it reminded me of that scene.
So mean to your son. That's not any way to talk about your child.
He's getting bullied constantly every day for the giant mole on the side of his face, and he can't control that. But it just reminded me of that episode of Supernatural where it was season 3 where the kids are getting kidnapped. Yeah, before it got so bad. I want to say it got bad after season 5.
Season 5 is where it should have ended. Season 6 was clearly made for the fans, and honestly, I enjoyed it. After that, I could have done without it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her story, Priestess of Spiders, My Son's Reflection is Wrong. So we're going to read one that she posted on Short Scary Stories called The Witching Tree. All right.
How many witches did it take to make the witching tree, I wonder?
We're about to find out. If you guys want, turn off the lights, close your eyes, and immerse yourself in this story. All the stories that we're going to read today. All right. Everyone knows about the witching tree. Everyone knows that it is different. It's tall and gnarled, and has long, spindly branches that reach up to the sky like the rigor mortis legs of a crushed spider. Nobody recalls ever seeing leaves on those branches, but the witching tree doesn't feel dead. It doesn't look like any of the other trees around it on the hill at the park. It's not an oak nor a pine, and certainly not one of those big redwoods that you've seen in the foothills. The witching tree is the witching tree.
Did an arborist write this? Do they just want it? Are they just using this story as a segue to talk about trees?
Yeah, or how we need to conserve.
Is this going to lead into tree law?
Possibly. Possibly. I'm going to have to look into Priestess's bio and look at their social media and see if they're, like, what they do for a profession. Because
continue with your tree descriptions.
Okay. Also, I love the witching tree is the witching tree.
Thank you. What? Also, something about, what was it, the rigor mortis of spider legs?
Yeah,
I think rigor mortis means you have to have bones and muscle, and spiders basically run on hydraulics.
have you ever seen like a big spider get like not crushed because then that'd be flat, but
I mean, like when they die.
when
and
they die and they
curl
kind
up.
of just
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I was thinking that. I granted like trees don't have bones, but I feel like I've seen branches like that. I'm kind of seeing this tree in my head. You know you're supposed to capitalize it when you write it out, just like God. That was nailed into my head as a kid, that you can't spell God without a capital G.
But unless you're talking about other gods, if it's gods plural, then it's lowercase g.
They're not important.
We don't talk about them.
Nope. You have a feeling that it would know if you didn't. As long as there have been children, as long as there have been knives, there have been those who took it upon themselves to leave their mark on the natural world, carving their sign into the bark of a living thing to prove that they were there, that they were real. All of the rest of the trees in the park have at least a couple such scars from the vanity of children, a prepubescent drive for immortality. The witching tree has only one. Yes? Yes?
I think it's a little far-fetched to feel like teenagers are striving for immortality. I think they kind of have a penchant for destruction and creation. Destruction and creation go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like it's all the olds. It's all the old people who want to live forever. Like teenagers already know they're going to live forever. They don't know.
Yeah, but the old people can't go up to the tree, let alone like carve their initial. Like, can you imagine like your grandmother trying to climb that?
Also, as long as there have been children, as long as there have been knives, what a sentence. That's not where I thought that was going. I'm like, is the witching tree killing the children? Well, no, spoilers probably. Anyway.
They're gonna crush them so that their bones like curl up like rigor mortis.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What's wrong with giving the tree a tattoo? Maybe it liked it.
Against its will, it didn't consent to such tattoo.
How do you know?
I'm not an arborist, so I wouldn't know actually. Oh my god. Nobody said you couldn't carve your initials into the witching tree. There wasn't a list of rules that you had to follow. Children just know these things. Most of them anyway.
These children know a lot of things. They're expecting these children.
I feel like they didn't need to add most of them anyway. It's kind of just leave it up to, like, if children want to do it, they'll just do it. Because that's just the realistic part of it.
It's implying that children think.
Yeah.
I know when I was a child, I had not a thought in my head.
No, me either. It was either like, do I do this? Will I get in trouble?
If
No.
the answer was yes, then you'd probably do it anyway.
Yeah, it made me want to do it more. Introducing a person here. Tommy Colgate didn't care about doing what he was supposed to. He'd say curse words in front of teachers, he'd pull girls' pigtails, and he'd throw rocks at pigeons.
Oh, not the pigeons.
No, they're not doing anything. He also had been given a shiny new whittling knife for his birthday.
Who gives a whittling knife to a teenager for their birthday?
What is a whittling knife? Is that
It's just like a smaller knife that you can easily like maneuver to, whittle things and carve.
Okay. So like not like a switchblade, but also not a pocket knife, something smaller.
Yeah, I mean it could also whittling knife. I think you could also do a switchblade type thing, but
Okay.
I'm not an expert.
Just going up to the witching tree. Just, tell me your secrets, bitch. All the other children watched when Tommy climbed up the hill, the sunlight glinting off his knife as he unfolded it. I think they mean glistening. But they all watched as he plunged it into the bark, carving out a jagged, clumsy TC. He seemed so smug when he came back down the hill, smiling like he'd just won the lottery. He was the first kid to carve his name on the witching tree. He would also be the last. The other children weren't surprised when Tommy didn't come into school the next day. They weren't surprised when they saw his obituary in the local newspaper, the one which conspicuously left out the cause of death, Those who went to the funeral weren't surprised that it was a closed casket. Nobody carved their initials into the witching tree and got away with it. Sometimes, you can still hear some of the older kids whisper about Tommy Colgate, about the countless slashes that covered all over his body, arranged in odd patterns like some sort of alien language, and the rust-brown stains they found on the witching tree's branches. They'll laugh it off, of course, say it's just a ghost story. But to this day, there's still only one set of initials carved into the witching tree's bark. Okay,
So many questions.
I also have a lot of questions. So they say that you couldn't carve your initials into the witching tree, or that you couldn't, not that you physically couldn't, but there was no rule against it. But then they go to the funeral and then it's a closed casket. Nobody saw this transpire, but people know that he had all these markings and stuff on him and all these cuts. Like,
he fucked around and he found out, but also just like, how did he find out? How did that tree get to him? Did the tree climb through his window? Did it uproot and then just saunter down into town and find Tommy and just like
I would like
give him a couple bitch slaps?
Possibly. I would like to imagine that it was kind of like, remember when we watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yes.
Remember the Harold? Do you remember that kill where the kid was fucking around with Harold and making fun of him, and then at night when he went into the cornfield, Harold started chasing after him, and then he had hay starting to come out from his eyelids and his mouth and whatnot, and he just died from asphyxiation from hay.
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine that my man
just
TC
shoved his tree branches and his roots right up there.
Yeah, right up
Just
where
violated that child.
Oh God, Jesus! He goes over the kids are watching him from afar, just climb up the hill, start carving his initials in, and then the clouds get dark. Just huge gust of wind. I like to think that he noticed that things weren't right. He backed up, fell over one of the tree stumps, and then just got molly-whopped by this giant tree.
Like the Whomping Willow from the series that shall not be named.
Yes. Which, by the way,
they said he came down looking all smug, like he won the lottery, and like I'm assuming he went home. So
that's true.
So unless the tree had some sort of like siren song and led him back to the hill, or maybe he sleptwalk or something. But like, I don't know. I still think that tree climbed through his window and then fucked him up.
Yeah. The latch on his window opens up and you just see a couple tiny little rigor mortis branches.
It's actually like the did you ever see the remake of The Evil Dead? That was like 2013 or so.
Yeah.
So, when she gets lost in the woods.
Yeah.
And it gets a little, with the vines. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Maybe we can just think, let's just hope he just got slapped around and maybe that was...
slapped around until he died.
Yeah, that's probably the better thing than the alternative.
Yeah. They were saying there were patterns all over his body, like some sort of alien language, and that...
so he was writing on him. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. In tree language. Tree law!
Any experts in tree law, could you let us know in the comments what this means, what it could have possibly meant? I don't know. But yeah, the top comment saying when you fuck around, you also find out, generally. That was the witching tree. No witches. Oh, no. Maybe a witch put a curse on the tree.
Well, I would have liked to known, I guess.
Yeah,
It seems this is all about Tommy.
This is Tommy's story and how a tree fucked him up. I was trying to debate on whether or not I was going to read some random stories today. And then about an hour before you came over, I found this one story on r/scary stories titled "My Girlfriend Talks in Her Sleep." And I thought that this was hilarious because
you talk in your sleep.
I do talk in my sleep.
Or at least you used to.
Yeah. Did you want to tell the story of that, or should I?
So, I mean, there were a lot of stories. There were a lot of different things that happened back when you did not sleep peacefully. When you were on Zoloft, You did not like go into full REM sleep, and you were very twitchy, very flaily, like every night. And then there were a couple times where you were actually talking in your sleep, and there were a couple times where like I would wake up and you were talking, and some of it was a nonsensical, I didn't remember. But just the funniest one was like I was awake and you happened to be in
I was somewhere.
You were somewhere. You were talking to somebody. And all I hear is like, but I've never been to Disney World.
Which is a lie. Which is a big fat lie.
And that's just the one that I remember the most.
That's so funny. Do you still have any of those recordings of me not being able to breathe?
No, I think I at some point ended up like deleting them, but you know, yeah, I
Good.
I took some recordings of him because I'm like, I need you to understand what I sometimes hear, and like I can hear you choking, like you are not breathing, and you need to do something.
Yeah, I was on at one point 200 milligrams of Zoloft.
That's so much.
It is. It is. I bet some people that are on Zoloft right now are watching this and thinking like, "Holy shit."
And it's like, yeah, no wonder you were talking in your sleep and flailing around. And like, you know, you were dead on your feet because you weren't actually sleeping. You were just barely breathing for like 7 or 8 hours.
And I would wonder why I would feel the strong compulsion to take a nap at like 11 a.m. But now my doctor's got me on a high dose of vitamin D because I have a vitamin D deficiency. D for Darryl. I don't have a lot of me. So I'm on this treatment for the next 12 weeks. I got to take a pill once a day every week. He said to take it on a Sunday because it helps people remember better. But I'm taking it on Wednesday because fuck it.
Whatever you gotta do. You're a big boy now. You can make your own schedule.
I can. Listen to your doctors, everyone. But sometimes don't. What do they know? They're getting paid to just pump you full of drugs. That's not my real opinion on doctors. Don't read into that. The only instance that I can think of you talking in your sleep actually happened very recently, and I told you you just made this like sound. I couldn't begin to tell you what you were dreaming about or what you were doing, but
Well, it was funny because like when I was younger, like I had a lot of problems with like nightmares, and there were times where I was talking and walking in my sleep, and it baffles my dad because he's just like, you were having like you had such an awful time sleeping with when you were younger, and now you just watch horror movies. I'm like, it's therapy, I guess.
yeah.
But like one of the creepiest times that I actually was sleep talking and sleepwalking was when I was younger, we went down to like my Aunt Rochelle's, and I didn't like being away from home. It made me nervous. So like she was watching TV with me on the couch, and I fell asleep at one point. And at my aunt's house, like the couch at the time was like right by the bay window that's like, you know, looks out on the street. And she told me afterward at some point, like I was dead asleep. I got up, I stood on top of the couch, and she's like, Morgan, what's up? And then I literally, being the creepy child I was, I pointed out the window and like, they're out there.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, first off, I never knew that I knew that you had nightmares a lot as a kid and that your dad was like concerned about it, but I don't remember you like sleepwalking.
No, like I usually only slept walk when I wasn't at my house, which of course is, you know, perfect for sleepovers and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't really do anything weird or anything. I mean, the most I think I ever did was, you know, stand up, point, get around, move around. One time my cousins told me like, yeah, you like got up, went to the edge of the bed, felt at the edge of the bed where it was, you know, where it ended, and then you just went back and crawled into bed. But there were times I think I was also talking in my sleep, and I probably said some really weird shit.
Maybe you still do it, but when I'm out, I'm out.
Yeah.
So unless I'm like jolted awake by a nightmare, but that happens very rarely. It's got to be a fucked up nightmare.
Yeah.
Which was like the last time I remember that happening was you had just shown me Jeepers Creepers. And the ending, spoiler alert, where Justin
It's been out
Long's,
for 15 years. No spoiler alerts.
It's true. Justin Long, his character gets taken by the monster at the end, and then just there's at the end, it's just showing like the sewers or wherever he gets kept. You don't see what's happening, but you hear him screaming. And Justin Long's performance in that, it was so bone chilling that I had this dream where you got taken and I felt so helpless, and just the fear of like, I don't know what's happening to you and I don't know what this thing is doing, or if I'll ever find you again, was so terrifying. And then I remember waking up and just like
I think you actually woke me up for that one.
I definitely did. And I didn't end up telling you what happened until a couple days later because I was just so like disturbed by it. And I was just like, okay, when are we watching Jeepers Creepers 2? So, my girlfriend talks in her sleep. This was posted on r/scary stories by Irvin Lerperton. I'm so sorry. But this was posted 4 years ago. You're still going to get credit for this story, so thank you. My girlfriend talks in her sleep. At first, it was cute and hilarious to tell her what she said. It was harmless nonsense. The sky is folding, or we need to raise the ground. We'd talk the next day about it, if she remembered her dream, but she never did. I wish I knew what she meant by we need to raise the ground. Some context. Our nightly routine is for us to start out cuddling and then give up once it gets too hot. Then we're usually both on our sides, back to back. She would fall asleep before I do, and so I would hear the full range of her nightly musings. Honestly, at first, I was eager to hear what she said. It was always funny to tell her and our friends what she would say while deep in the throes of REM. But now I'm done. I prefer she not talk anymore. How am I going to sleep after what happened last night? Yeah, no, I would be terrified before even thinking of like.
Well, it's like, if you try to smother me, you better try to do it quick. You try to kill me in any manner, you better do it quick, because if not, I'm coming after you.
I've said this multiple times that I want to wrestle you.
Oh my God, bro.
But you don't let me because you're scared that I'm going to get hurt. I'm a big boy.
Yeah, I'm small, but I'm also very dense.
You are very dense, but
Density of 1,000 suns.
I just want to know if like I can.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
Never mind. This has already gone out of hand. Last night, around 11 p.m., she was asleep, and I was still up reading. Back to back, I hear her mumble something under her breath. I couldn't quite make out what she said, but I lean over from my book to peek at her face, and she's sleeping soundly. I return to my book, get absorbed back into its pages. At some point, I fall asleep. Next thing I know, I'm woken up by my girlfriend talking at full volume. I open my eyes, and at some point in the night, both of us had turned to lay face to face. My girlfriend's eyes...
The worst sleeping position.
Yeah.
It's like, I love you, but I don't want to breathe your mouth air.
Yeah. That's... I don't think... I don't know where I was going with that. It's gone. Bye. My girlfriend's eyes are wide open. She's staring right at me, mere inches from my face. But her eyes are vacuous. These eyes, man. It's like she was starting to widen them as much as possible. Those are the eyes I fell in love with, and right now, they're scaring the absolute piss out of me. My heart rate skyrockets, and chock full of adrenaline, I throw off the covers and jump out of bed. Looking at her, her eyes follow me like a painting, but her body stays still. For 1 second, I decided that my book light was keeping her awake, and what she had said was, "Can you please turn that off?" Now out of bed and looking at her, she's not right. Her body hasn't moved, but her eyes dart from looking at me to looking around the entire room. I dare to ask her, "Are you all right?" Now, this reminds me of another nightmare that I had, actually, that I told you about. I don't know if you remember, but I went on this trip with my dad, and we were back in the hotel room. We were sharing the same room, and I walk in, lights are off, and I hear my dad in the darkness. Like, imagine like it's a room with 2 queen beds, right? He's the one furthest to the door, and the lights are off. I assume that he's asleep, and then I just hear him say, Darryl, come here. And I'm like, what? He said, come here, turn on the light. And I go over, and then I turn on the lamp next to my bed, and he's there. Like, the covers are like up to his face, like this.
Oh, no.
And he's just looking like that. And I go over, and I'm like, Dad, what's wrong? You're scaring me. And he just said, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I'm like freaking out at this point.
Yeah, because you don't want your parents to say that.
Yeah. And so I grab the covers and I pull them off of him. And he's laying there, eyes wide open, just repeating, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And he's just like from here, from here, cut off. Like his arms are like just stumps, and he's just a torso and a head. And then he just keeps saying, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And then like, and then I wake up.
Yeah.
One of the worst nightmares I've ever had as an adult. Don't know what it means.
Yeah, no.
Haven't unpacked it yet. Don't want to unpack it on this
put
show.
It back in the box.
Yep, it's going back in the box forever, and I'm going to take a swig of my beverage right now because...
There.
You know that's going to be the most replayed thing on this video for some people, right?
There.
Just wipe my tears. Okay.
Hold my hand.
Okay. I hope Brianna never watches this. But she is not a foot person. And I'm not either. I do that a lot on the show where I'll like make myself like look like I am just the most perverted fuck in the world, and then I realize that it's not going to do me any favors if this podcast ever blows up.
Is this a persona that you want to cultivate?
I ask myself that all the time. I've been making videos on the internet now for over 10 years, and it's like, I often wonder, I'm like, well, is this really the avenue I want to go down? But then I'm like, well,
we're here.
We're here. It's kind of like how I'd imagine an arborer would make the choice on like whether they want to continue their career after they've gotten fucked up by a haunted tree. Anyway, her body hasn't moved, but her eyes dart from looking at me to looking around the room. I dare to ask her, are you all right? No response. Those eyes look at me when I speak, though. They're now deadlocked, looking right into my eyes. Her breathing hasn't changed. That is asleep breathing for sure. That's when, while looking right at me, she says in a too deep voice, "Come back to bed, dearie." My girlfriend has never called me dearie before. We have pet names, sure, but they range from pumpkin, baby, to cupcake. Dearie sounds like something my grandmother would call me. I decide I'll get more information before I climb back into bed with a potentially possessed girlfriend. Are you awake, sweetie? No response. The eyes dart from me to the wall, to the door, and then the ceiling. I'm about to nope out of the room when her wide open eyes rolled to the back of her head. The white from those eyes stands out in the dim radiance of the booklight. No pupils in sight as she insists, "Of course I'm awake. Come back to bed?" With a subtle tap of the fingers on the comforter.
No.
No. I'm staying somewhere else for the evening.
The sleep paralysis demon has taken up residence. Goodbye.
Yeah, you're dense enough to fight it. I'm sure you'll be fine. Text me in the morning. Looking at her fingers now, I'm starting to come around. She's never sleepwalked before. Surely she's awake now if she's moving her hands. But looking at her fingers, it's as though what?
It's learning.
Yeah. But looking at her fingers, it's as though she's pretending to have control. They're all going in different directions. One finger pointing straight down, the others to the side. Those hands are not my girlfriend's hands. They're simulating normal movement as best they can, though. I say, I'm gonna get a drink of water, baby. Be right back. Can I get you anything? Fully planning to run out of the house the moment I'm over the threshold.
Smart. Yeah.
Yep.
Do that.
Yep.
I bet he doesn't do that.
Probably not. But my normally agreeable and sweet girlfriend decides I'm not allowed to leave. As serious as cancer, she says that...
Cancer.
As serious as cancer, she says in that too deep horror voice, take one step out that door, and I will rip out your throat and shit down your neck.
It's a little extreme.
That is a little extreme. Sounds like a alpha male threat.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely something a demon would say.
Demons do say some
Pretty wild
some
shit.
pretty wild shit. Shocked, but understanding the importance of not letting this beast know I'm in trouble, I reply, as interesting as a proposition as that is, I think I'm going to... And thinking quickly, I grab my water bottle from the nightstand. This doesn't please my girlfriend as she decides to start screaming and fingering her way towards me.
Fingering her way towards you.
Ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, ba.
It's like...
I will finger every entity in this room to get to you.
I'm sorry, you'll what?
I will finger every entity in this room to get to you.
How many entities are there, Darryl? You may be
69.
busy.
There's like, what's like one of the most romantic phrases that a man could say or a woman could say to their partner? I would go through the fires of hell to rescue you. Change it to, I will finger every entity in this room to save you.
You don't need to do that. That's fine.
It's a supernatural scream, so high-pitched and bird-like, I feel as though my neighbors 3 houses down were going to ask us if they heard that last night. As fast as I can muster, I unscrew the lid and douse her in water, like I knew what I was doing. Her eyes close, her garbled appendages normalize, and she is back asleep.
Oh, I didn't realize they kept holy water on the bedstand.
Just drinking holy water. I've never, like...
It's medicinal. It's the newest craze. I saw it on TikTok.
The holy water trend. Your girlfriend having a conniption, is she like floating in the air like she's...
Is she vomiting like a lot and it's all green? Is she talking in a garbled voice? Is she speaking in languages you didn't know she could speak? She should try the holy water cleanse.
It's like coffee enemas, but
Oh, God.
with holy water.
Oh, God. Don't do coffee enemas. Just don't.
Heal your colon. I'm going to sleep on the couch for a while. Maybe forever. She'll understand when she's awake.
But will she?
And that's part 1. Before I move on to part 2, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, if you ever did that to me, I would also leave the house.
What, throw water on you?
No, I would just leave.
Oh, if I was
If
I was
you were
just,
the one talking to me in that voice, I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Even if it was
Like,
your own?
I'm not even, yeah. I mean, I'd just, I go get the rabbits, put them in their little carriers, and just go. I get a discount at the working at the hotel. Just go get a room there for the night.
I'm just like, sweet potato, don't you dare leave this fucking house with your mother. Get back here.
Sweet Potato doesn't understand English. She doesn't understand anything.
All right. Part 2. There's 5 parts to this, everybody, so buckle up. My hands tremble over the keyboard, and I may have a concussion, so please forgive any typos or brevity of my update. It's the morning after my typically amenable and kind-hearted girlfriend's body was possessed in sleep by some malicious entity. I've been distant this morning, so she knows something is amiss, but obviously still reeling from the experience. I can't tell her yet that she tried to rip up my throat and shit down my neck. You understand. You understand.
She didn't try. She just said she would. There's a difference.
Come on. I'm tired. Obviously, I didn't sleep last night, but I did stay up most of the night with all the lights on, feverishly clutching my water bottle in the living room. The demonic beast inside my girlfriend managed to creep its way back into control sometime soon after I exited the room and pinned it closed with a dining room chair. Given her eye movements and the activation delay, my theory is that the beast is allowed control during REM. But what do I know? It spent most of the evening attempting to coax me back into the bedroom, this time with a pinch more emotional intelligence, calling out to me in what was as close to my girlfriend's normal voice as it could manage. Come to bed, sweetie. Why are you sleeping on the couch again? I don't know, maybe because you threatened to shit down my neck. I think that would also make me want to go sleep on the couch. Be like, listen, I know we wanted to spice things up. This is not how we go about it. It's not how we do this.
Consent is key.
It works for some people, but not me. That's a little too extreme. I decide I'm not going to validate this demon with a response, but moments later, the two deep, sinister voices back.
If you don't open this door, I'll slit the cat's throat.
Fuck. I forgot about the cat. Terrible pet owner, by the way. How could you forget about the cat? He's still in the bedroom, probably cowering in fear, hissing in the corner to no avail. My guess is...
Or he's just sleeping.
Or he's, sleeping. Or he's dead. Taking the eternal sleep. My guess is that the cat is already dead. But what can I do?
You can check. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Schrodinger's cat thing. I mean, like, it is your pet. You can go check on it.
Worst thing that happens other than it being dead is that it runs out of the room quickly.
Yeah.
Like a horror movie jump scare. You might get clawed in the face, but I mean, hey.
But hey, the cat's safe.
Cats are
And
territorial.
that's what's important.
Yeah, exactly. Also, good horror movie of this year talking about animals and horror. Good Boy.
Yeah. Good Boy.
Good Boy was a very good movie.
Such a good boy.
He was a very good boy.
He was trying so hard, but you know how owners are a dumbass. They had like, how does my owner not see all of these things? We should leave this house, but no.
Yeah.
No,
and
no.
I could talk about some things in that movie, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it is fairly new. But I will say, I know that there are a lot of people online that don't want to see it because they're scared that something's going to happen to the dog. I will say this right now. Nothing physically bad
lives.
happens to the dog. The dog lives.
Just, probably, traumatized and whatnot, but he lives.
Yeah. But really good movie. And if you go see it, stay at the end of the credits because there's a really wholesome behind the scenes thing on how they got a lot of the shots of Indy. Because
It took like 3 years to make just to get all of the shots because they were working on his time, and he's not a trained dog. They were just like one 8-second scene took like 3 days for them to get right.
Yeah. And because a lot of people were saying how emotive he was, but when you see the behind the scenes of how they got a lot of those shots,
good camera tricks.
It's really good. Also, as a creative person, very inspiring to see that it was just shot by him and his wife over the course of 3 years. And it's just like,
and like a small backup crew.
Yeah. If they can do it, if they can get a project through like film festivals and get on the big screen in Hollywood, you can too. So some inspiration for y'all. I've seen enough horror movies to know that this is the moment I have to decide to do something dumb and heroic or die on screen while everyone yells about how much of an idiot I am for opening the door. I may have a little more sympathy for these characters now. People thrust into impossible situations are forced to make impossible choices. That's true. Against my better judgment, I'm going to open the door, get the cat out of the room. I'm staring at the bedroom door now and notice something damp and muscly poking and prodding its way out from under the door. What? I point my phone's flashlight at it and realize it's my girlfriend's tongue. I catch myself experiencing an intrusive thought, wondering if she'll want to know why her mouth is full of cat hair tomorrow. But this is perfect. I need to test out my new technique. A spray bottle full of sink water. I spray the tongue as it inchworms itself around the edge of the door, presumably for purchase on my human flesh. It immediately recoils, and I hear the body inside collapse. Water is still a demon possession off switch, I decide, and immediately tear the chair away from holding the door locked. I don't even have time to think about whether I have holy water on tap. I need to act fast. What? I'm sorry.
Also, I'm still trying to go through the logistics of the tongue under the door. It was under the door, right? Because the door's
Yeah.
completely shut. Like, what are the logistics? I mean, I know it's a demon tongue at this point, but like putting your face down and like tongues aren't that long unless she has like Gene Simmons' tongue or something and she's just
Yeah, and also like not very smart. Like if you're in a horror, like the protagonist or like any side character could just take a giant knife or an axe and cut it off. But
demons
also,
don't care about that. They regenerate, right?
yeah,
They revel in getting fucked up.
that's true. But also, the point of people in horror movies are thrust into impossible situations, being forced to make impossible choices. If this was happening to you and whatnot, I would probably halt on the tongue cut off thing because you're
Thank
gonna
you.
need that.
Yeah.
If I can get you back to normal somehow, and I would
Yeah.
certainly hope you do the same respect for me.
Yeah. Maybe.
But maybe. I need to act fast. Attempting to open the door now. My significant other's unconscious body is blocking me from entering. It requires a bit of force to slide her ragdoll body behind the door so I can squeeze through. Trying not to look too closely at her, I realize now that she's sweating a black oily substance, and the bed and floor are totally drenched. I realized the reason it was so difficult to open the door was because the demon's sweat is so sticky. She may be stuck to the ground. Carefully avoiding stepping in the demon's superglue, I'm now inside the bedroom. To my dismay, I don't see the cat right away. It makes sense. Frightened as hell, it must have crawled and hid under the bed. Yikes.
Well, cat's dead, I guess. Time to leave.
Possibly. Yeah.
Nope.
I've got to persuade it out from under there now, but that will mean I need to get down on my belly and reach under the bed. Don't do it. Nope. No, just doing everything wrong. Everything wrong.
Didn't even grab a weapon.
You think they call 911? Yeah. I know that there's not much that the cops can do about a demonic possession.
I mean, they could shoot it.
They could. Realizing the absurdity of my situation, I have one hand pointing a spray bottle at my dead asleep girlfriend and one hand reaching under the bed to grab my cat. My eyes trained on my girlfriend as I reach blindly under the dark bed. I can feel its soft fur. I wrap my hand around it and attempt to bring it towards me. It wriggles free from my grasp with evidently zero intention of making this easy. It crawls deeper under the bed. Frustrated, I take my eyes off my girlfriend to look where it went. No sign of it. I make the call to put the spray bottle down and point my phone flashlight under the bed. It's too deep underneath for me to get it from this side. I'm going to need to go around to the other side to capture it. Pulling my head back out from underneath the bed, I realize my fatal error. My girlfriend has woken up.
And she's hangry.
Angry! She's standing over me, a dark tower as I lay vulnerable on the ground beside the bed. Her teeth look sharper from this angle in my phone's flashlight. Why didn't I turn on the bedroom light? She's drooling that black oily glue. Her hair, normally a gorgeous brown, is so glossed with black paste that it has slicked itself to her head like she just got out of the shower. Her eyes are menacing, wide open, bloodshot and yellow. She looks tired. I'm tired too. But it's time to go. The cat heroics can wait. Just as I'm about to scuttle an adrenaline-filled crawl around her legs and out the open door, she grabs both ankles with both of her arms. Her ankles or your ankles? I remember. Look, baby, I can touch my toes.
Grab my own ankles. Whoop.
Yep. I remember her typically gentle touch is. Oh wait. Yeah. I remember her typically gentle touch is nowhere to be found in this grip as her nails dig shallow wounds into my legs.
Ooh.
With inhuman strength, she begins raising my entire body weight by my legs, plainly in an attempt to start eating me alive from the toes up. Little does she know...
I love how he immediately goes to cannibalism.
Yeah. Little does she know I've never skipped a leg day in my life.
Oh! You can't forget leg day.
Yes, just in case your girlfriend ever wants to eat you from the feet first.
You better get to those stairs, Daryl.
I kicked my girlfriend square in the teeth with both feet. She drops me on my head, but I can't feel it. While she's stunned, that's the concussion talking. While she's stunned, I manage to get to my feet, carefully avoid the
Preternatural? Predator?
I love how you knew that without even...
Preternatural?
Yeah. While she's stunned, I manage to get to my feet, carefully avoid the preternatural spiderweb paste, and exit the room. Hands shaking, I adjust the chair to the correct angle just in time to hear agitated knocking on the other side. Baby, come back to bed. It's late. You're gonna be so tired at work tomorrow.
Fuck work.
All of that, and I didn't even get the damn cat out, and my spray bottle is still in there. What the hell am I gonna do now? End of part 2.
So why doesn't the cat have a name? He never gave the cat a name. He just saying it.
Maybe
It didn't even get a gender.
it's a non-binary cat, assuming.
I mean, I get, but also it's a cat. It doesn't care about gender.
That's true. It's probably the girlfriend's cat, and he just doesn't like cats, so he just never
What a
bothered
shitty
to learn the
boyfriend.
name. Yeah, it's like if
You
I
know both of my rabbits' genders.
Exactly.
And their names even.
Yeah.
I even trust you to look after them when I'm out of town.
yeah, and it's just imagine I just didn't care to learn their names by now, and I've known you for 5 years, dating for 4. What type of a person could I?
And like I know this is like just because the person who's writing it, I'm like, dude, if you're gonna write a story, you got to give it a little bit of depth. I'm not saying, if you're writing a short story, not saying you need to start omitting important details, but like, you should give the cat a name or at least a gender.
You can be so descriptive about the black demon goo just matting her hair like as if she had just gotten out of the shower. You can be that descriptive and whatnot, but you can't give the cat a name.
Yeah. It's like, you live with this cat, man.
What did we learn from part 2? Never skip leg day.
Never skip leg day.
Part 3. Here's what I know. 1. The possession ends when she wakes up. And then parentheses, did any of that really happen? 2. She has no recollection of the previous night. 3. Water disables, but only momentarily. 2 to 3 minutes. 4. The black ooze she drools and sweats while possessed evaporates. The bed and floor were wet this morning from the water I sprayed. The rest had all disappeared by the time I checked. The cat is fine. Number 5. Number 6. I need help. Who are you going to call?
Demon Busters?
I think so. I like to think that because the black goo is gone, it's just part of the house.
It's part of the
The
house
house is
now.
possessing her.
Eh.
She's taking work calls in the other room. I'm doing my best to focus on my own work, but I'm doing my best to focus on my own work, but my mind drifts from my laptop screen. I can't focus. Agreeing to myself that I won't get anything worthwhile done today, I give up and start thinking about the next steps. I need an exorcist. I'm not the kind to call an exorcist. I'm the kind of guy that scoffs at the idea. They're all scams. You can't have experience in something that doesn't exist. Clearly, exorcists don't exist. Clearly, I'm not the religious type, but I'll table my reservations for now. I'm not going to go through all of that again on my own. Feeling totally out of my element, but unwilling to call a church, I found an exorcist on Craigslist.
People still use Craigslist?
Apparently, I figured that Craigslist at this point is
I mean, Craigslist was already like a not so safe thing to, use just in general because, internet, meeting strangers on the internet. But like now it's like, because so many other websites have popped up that do similar Craigslist things that are actually kind of safer. But I mean, also like, Dude, maybe you should actually just like talk to your girlfriend before you start calling an exorcist. Like, I mean, it seems like you didn't really have much of a conversation. Like, oh, she just doesn't remember. I'm like, well, maybe you should convince her. It's like, honey, you scared me last night.
Yeah, this is what happened. You're probably not going to believe 90% of it, but it happened. And if we can't find a solution, I'm going on Craigslist.
I'm finding you an exorcist, babe. Budget exorcist.
I mean, how much would the Vatican charge for an exorcist?
So, like, the Vatican didn't even really recognize possession for like a really long time, or like they were doing exorcists for a while, but then they stopped. And like, if you work with the church, you have to actually go to them and they have to sanction an exorcist. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know if that's something they still do, but like, I mean, it's the Catholic Church. They got plenty of money. They don't need to charge people.
Price is no object. Let's get this thing out of my girlfriend. He says he'll come over tonight. He messages me and says it is of utmost importance that my girlfriend's waking body does not find out what we're going to do. That doesn't sound ethical.
I think the real villain in this story is the boyfriend.
Yeah. If she does find out and is not able to fall asleep, no refunds. Oh, so this guy's also scamming him too.
Can you I'm trying to imagine where like if we were like living together and this was me doing, getting possessed by a demon, you don't even tell me what's going on. I just come home and there's you and this exorcist that you got off of Craigslist. And you're like, and what? You're like, babe, we're going to exorcise the demon out of you. And I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me? Like, Darryl, let's go in the kitchen. We're going to have a fucking conversation about this. Why is this man in my house?
We're going to have more than a conversation.
Did he touch my rabbits?
Yeah. You come in and on the coffee table, there's just like, kind of like when you see like a torture scene, the kits laid out and whatnot, but it's just a bunch of different
and
crosses
it's like, oh,
and
honey,
vials.
did you get me a gift? No, babe, we're going to use these on you. I'm like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I don't remember buying these nice shinies.
He's holding your rabbits. Both of them, somehow.
Oh, no, now I have to kill him. Now I get to use the torture set.
Yeah.
You let him come in and you let him touch my rabbits.
Who's
My babies.
first? Him or me?
Well, probably him because he's holding my rabbits and then you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably...
I had to save you for last.
I'd probably run. But I know that there's not much I could do to...
I'll find you. I know where you live.
Yeah. And I would do that too. I would probably come back to my place and not
It's like,
really...
all your stuff is here. What are you going to do?
My entire life is here. I might as well die with my stuff. Like, I knew that I wasn't going to get away with it. I just came back so I could die in a comfortable place. How much more could I expect from a Craigslist exorcist?
How much?
I'm certainly not thrilled with the idea of a stranger knowing my address, but I'm not backing out now. As you can imagine, this is the slowest slog of a day I have ever experienced in my life. I'm anxious, I feel physically sick, I jump at everything my girlfriend says. I can't look her in the eyes without imagining that eerie yellow tinge behind them. Around lunchtime, I hear her humming happily in the kitchen. She really has no idea, does she? A profound sense of certain death washes over me as I watch her wield a knife to cut vegetables. Fuck. Was that, babe?
Oh, I was just making you lunch. Do you want anything?
Just
Are you
stabs
sure?
the knife vertically
I
into the cutting board and is just wiggling back
It's
and
like,
forth.
I'm just making a salad.
Finally, the workday is over. My acting this evening was on par with any Oscar winner. Remembering what The Exorcist told me and failing to come up with an excuse, I got into bed with her. Parentheses, I made sure to place the cat in a comfortable spot in the living room. Well, that's good.
Yeah, like, it's not like the thing has legs and doesn't want to be in the bedroom with you. It'd be like, let me in.
Exactly. Like, doesn't have any agency of its own. We're reading side by side when she leans over, kisses me goodnight, and turns out her bedside table light. I'm going to keep mine on for now, thank you. My body tenses with desire to bolt. We begin to spoon. She cannot learn that something is wrong. Just a little longer. I figure I'm safe as long as I exit before she's asleep. She raises her head and asks, "Why is your heart beating so fast?" Thinking quickly, just freaked myself out by my book is all. Maybe reading horror before bed isn't the best decision. Thankfully, she laughs at my obsession for the macabre. Macabre. And returns her head to the pillow. I count down from 3 minutes. That's 180 Mississippis.
Okay.
Thanks for the math, OP. She must have been close to asleep because she didn't protest when I wake up. I install the chair and as my lock and wait. "Where are you, Pumpkin? Can't you sleep?" This is so close to my girlfriend's voice, I'm certain I made the whole thing up. I'll play it safe. I decide and not respond. Again, "It's cold without you, baby. Come back to bed." I'm sure it's cold as hell where this thing is from. I'm not opening the door. "There's someone coming up in the driveway. It's late. Don't let them in." I stand up to answer the front door. Outside in the dim front door light is a tall man clad in traditional priest garb. He looks like Ethan Hawke from that movie First Reformed, but clearly with a body covered in tattoos as evidenced by the inked skin poking out from beneath his cuffs.
Okay.
Pretty much exactly what...
So we
like when people-
we get a description of this priest, but we can't give the goddamn cat a name.
I still don't know what breed of cat this is. It could be a tabby. It could be a black cat. Probably a black cat because this is a horror story. But, you know...
So basic.
Like, I'm not one that would, like... I mean, like, I've babysat Lemon before and whatnot. But, like, I'm not really a cat owner. So... I mean, if I were to have a cat, it'd probably be a black cat. But pretty much exactly what you would expect from a Craigslist exorcist. There's not much time to introduce ourselves as we hear an alarming scrape come from the bedroom. I take this moment to read the priest's face and check if he actually has experience with this. You waited until he showed up?
To check his credentials? You let this man with tattoos dressed as a priest know where you live? And you didn't check his credentials?
Don't trust people with tattoos.
Absolutely not. Not trustworthy whatsoever.
Nope. What's that?
Don't worry about
What's
it.
that?
Don't worry about it.
I take this moment to read the priest's face and check if he actually has experience with this. He seems to at least be brave. His face giving no... That's good. His face giving no indication that he's wearing a costume for a quick buck. Outside the bedroom door now, in hushed tones, he begins to explain what he's going to do, brandishing a Bible and a small jar of holy water. We're about to open the door. Hands on the chair, I hear scraping again. This time, I realize the sound was never coming from the bedroom. It came from the living room. To my left, I hear the stranger breathe out softly. The cat. The cat has been watching us this whole time. Its normally green eyes, now bloodshot and yellow, no pupils in sight, poking out from around the corner. Black paste drooling from its agape mouth, leaving a snail trail of fluid behind it as it stalks out into the open. Oh, God. It attempts to hiss while making eye contact with the priest.
How do you hiss while you're just like...
Pretty much. That's...
Just spittle going
I
everywhere.
hate snail trail.
Also, I want to circle back to the sentence he said where, like, want to make sure he's not wearing this uniform to make a quick buck. This is a quick buck.
This is a very quick buck.
What kind of scam is this guy running where he's posting about being a priest that does exorcists on Craigslist? And this is a quick buck?
It's like people on Craigslist. I don't remember when this was from, but it was, I think it was a Game Grumps reference or something. People were like, there was a famous Craigslist post about JO crystals. Like
What?
people would, there was this guy that was posting on Craigslist saying that he's like big into crystals and he was looking for people to come and basically have a circle jerk while they like clutch their crystals and stuff. You find the weirdest people on Craigslist. It attempts to hiss while making eye contact with the priest, but all that comes out is a bubbling gurgle as more fluid leaks onto the hardwood. Are the cat's legs longer than usual? It looks like it's grown 5 inches in height, typically sitting around ankle level, but right now could stand as high as my knees. I curse quietly to myself. How could I have been so stupid? Of course the cat managed to get itself possessed. It spent the whole night in the bedroom.
Of course.
The black goo's gone.
Yeah, this is what we expect.
Yeah. The cat was white the day before, but now it's black.
Oh no.
It spent the whole night in the bedroom, presumably mopping up the viscous black oil with its mouth.
I love what this guy presumes. Yeah. He has a very, very big imagination.
Very active. New plan. Cat first.
since it's out here.
Yeah. I shit you not. The cat fucking talks. Its mouth doesn't move from its normally agape resting position, but the voice comes out of its mouth. It's that same too deep nightmare voice I'm all too familiar with. I told you not to let him in. Just then, my girlfriend decides she needs attention again. A consistent rapping of knuckles on the door. Let me out, let me out, let me out. I'm triaging the situation in my mind when I realize the moment I took my eyes off the cat, it has rocketed itself forward, climbed the priest's tall body, wrapped its 2 long legs around his neck, and constricts him like a snake. This is like some Dr. Seuss shit.
It's like, damn, what is this like an old-timey cat from no, is this an old-timey cartoon where the cat's like rubberized?
I imagined it. Like something out of Scary Movie, like when the clown like reaches out after Marlon Wayans' character, like the arms or whatever reach around
Scary
him.
Movie too. Oh god, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no, it wasn't an arm, but it was an appendage.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering the censored version for TV.
Yeah.
It was arms.
Oh god.
It maintains dull eye contact with me as I look on in horror. The priest drops his Bible and holy water on the ground, attempting to tear the cat's octopus-like legs away from his neck. He succeeds momentarily and cites what I assume is a Bible verse. The cat puts a stop to this with a quick navigation of its tail down into the priest's throat. Coughing and hysterical, he can't manage to escape its impossible grip.
I'm sorry, but like while this cat is choking out this priest, it's like it's maintaining heavy eye contact with its owner.
Craigslist? Really? Craigslist?
Is this sexual for the cat too? Like, yeah, I'm gonna choke this guy out. I'm gonna maintain really heavy eye contact with
Possibly. I mean, he put his entire throat down entire throat down his throat. He put his entire tail down his throat. Coughing and hysterical, he can't manage to escape its impossible grip. Claws digging bloody fissures into his neck. My turn. As I grab
My turn for the choking. It's my turn to be choked now, Daddy.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Dude, like I know this is supposed to be spooky, but I mean, like, also, like, you gotta write it a little bit.
The wording is pretty ridiculous.
There is a fine line between comedy and horror, and like, yes, sometimes horror can be a little funny, but like, it's just steeping. It's just steeping.
Oh my god.
My turn.
My turn. As I grab the holy water from the ground and grapple with the cat's jaw, pouring the contents of the jar down its slime-obstructed throat. Immediately, the cat falls to the ground like a corpse. Legs splayed in every direction, it lays on the ground. Defeated for now.
For now.
Until round 2. Once the cat is safely inside its travel carrier, the priest and I share a grim look. I ask him if he's ever dealt with this kind of thing before. Rubbing his neck. Of course. 1,000 times. Liar. Fucking liar.
Priest also doesn't get a name. They don't introduce. Like,
nah.
Just what is this writing?
I don't know. Also, rubbing his neck, like rubbing his wounds, his freshly festering wounds.
Rubbing the blood. He's just rubbing.
He likes
blood.
Blood play.
Yeah. He's into choking and blood play. I wonder if that's what he actually came here for. It was on his Craigslist ad, but it's like at the bottom.
Yeah, no one ever reads the stuff at the bottom.
No.
It takes a great deal of conviction for me to not physically roll my eyes. Glad to have you around then. That's the end of part 3. 2 more to go, everybody. 2 more to go.
God. What's next? Is it gonna start possessing like stuffed animals? Is there gonna be like is there gonna be a giant clown doll that's been sitting in the corner the entire time that the narrator always hated, and now it's gonna get possessed by the demon too because it knows all of his dark little secrets? We gonna get some clown action in here?
Either that or a Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh god.
It just needs to be super absurd. A super absurd toy.
Or just or like, oh, it was a doll my grandmother gave me, and it just turns into like an Annabelle-esque.
Part 4. Slime tendrils seek blind escape from air holes in the side of my travel carrier as I explain to the priest not to swallow any of the black liquid.
Wow, thank you so much for that advice, sir. Also, tentacles. Should have known we were gonna go there. We were dealing with demons.
Are tendrils basically the same thing as tentacles? We're basically looking at the same thing. They're both like very...
I mean, like, if you actually want to go into tentacles, I think tentacles are actually the ones that have like the suckers on them. Tendrils are, I think, probably smaller with less suction cups.
Hot.
Same thing.
Yeah. I think there may not be much hope for him now that my cat's tail has penetrated deep into his throat, but we can discuss this later. We better get back.
Lots of penetrating.
My train of thought is interrupted by the sobbing harassment of a girlfriend possessed in the bedroom. You don't love me. You never loved me. You're so dramatic. The doorknob shakes with dreadful force, tremors ringing through the hallway. Fingers emerge at the bottom of the door, viscous oil dripping from under splotched fingernails. Open this door, or I kill the girl. The fingers vanish. A pause. Breaking glass from inside the room. Is it planning to jump out of the window? Surely it's bluffing. We're on the 3rd floor. Like any parasitic creature, it wouldn't gravely harm its precious host.
Also, it's a demon. It's a fucking demon. Are you telling me that this door is the only thing standing between you and the demon? The demon is being stopped by a door? Like, let me out. The door's in the way. I can't work the doorknob. Open up. Why won't you play with me?
It's luring him into a false sense of security so that as soon as he opens the door, he gets his throat slit.
You can just open the door yourself.
He's already proven that he's not that smart.
Maybe the demon's stupid too.
Yeah. Why am I defending this writer? Why am I defending this story so much?
I guess somebody has to, and it's not going to be me.
I know.
Dude, narrator couldn't even name the goddamn cat.
Yeah. There's a renewed sense of urgency at this threat, but I'm at a loss. We poured holy water down the cat's throat, but its body has already turned into an abomination I can only describe as the alien from The Thing. I wonder to myself if one of those squirming legs is going to detach, sprout a blinking eyeball, and hide in the vent. I feel helpless. I can't stay up all night misting my girlfriend like she's a damn pet chameleon for the rest of my life. Still out of breath from being choked by my cat, the priest manages to wheeze. We need to open the door. I didn't realize that the priest was still being choked.
Wait. How did...
Oh, no, never mind. He's not
He's
still
just
being choked. He's just out of breath.
He's just out of breath
bad.
because he was choked.
Yeah.
I'm like, but he's in his carrier. When did...
I was about to say, how is he talking? What will we do? Water stops her, but only for a minute. It's too dangerous to perform the rites while she's in this form. We'll get her in the shower and then restrain her.
With what?
This is a good idea, but why didn't I think of that? Because you got a fucking exorcist off of Craigslist.
Because you're just not very smart, my guy.
Feeling a touch more brave as the priest increasingly proves himself as an asset, I begin to remove the chair. Thank you, baby. Why did you lock me in here? I've been so scared. My subconscious will forever be unwilling to separate the pleas of a demonic beast from the genuine pleas of my loving girlfriend. I hesitate, but with effort, manage to shrug off this false appeal for normalcy. Chair in hand, I take a step back from the door. For a single beat, there's silence. The latch clicks. She's opening the door. Shining, black slicked hair emerges, covering her face in totality through the crack in the door. She seems to have gained several inches in height as her full form comes into view. Then a single ringed yellow eye reveals itself through her long hair. I search in that eye for some sign that she's still in there somewhere. Anywhere. She's wielding a broken shard of glass and holding it to her own wrist. There's no time to protest before the priest has already sprayed her down. Her frenzied dodge is thwarted as a second jet of water dampens the pajamas my mother bought her for Christmas. I will never forget the powerlessness I felt in the next few moments. With only a few seconds left of control, the demon cuts my girlfriend's hand cruelly at the wrist with the shard of glass. That not being enough, she gnaws the rest off with her mouth.
Does this demon not know how to kill itself?
I don't think so.
Because, I mean, like, yeah, if you...
Or kill a human.
Like, oh, don't... You have to let me out of here. I'm going to kill her. It's like...
Just poke. Completely dismembered, her hand splashes to the ground in a grotesque, murky puddle of blood and oil. What the fuck? Stunned, I witness a transformation of the human body before me. Her body shakes globally and erratically on the ground as her skin regains its color. I remember a classmate from school who had seizures and that we needed to protect her head, but I'm incapacitated. The priest doesn't take time to emotionally reckon the fact that my girlfriend just lost her non-dominant hand.
Oh, he had to specify it was the non-dominant hand.
He scoops her up, rushes her to the shower, and turns on the water. A mixture of shell shock and a concussion leave me standing idle while I stare in slow motion from the severed fist to the shower back to the bedroom. The beast has been proficiently turning our bedroom into some kind of nest. The walls, windows, and ceiling are painted in black as night paste with the consistency of spoiled milk. Dripping from the ceiling fan onto the bed, our furniture is unrecognizable in the spiderweb of fluid coating the room.
I don't know. Sounds like she just wanted to redecorate.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
You can maybe take it down at the end of Halloween.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Just burn it down. Just the whole thing.
Yeah. The priest is washing his hands in the bathroom sink. He comes and stands before me, shaking me at the shoulders, evidently having been demanding things of me for the last few seconds. I'm not even going to correct myself anymore. We're just going to plow through the rest of the story, just like that cat's tail plowed through the priest's throat. Anybody home? We need to act. I need your help now. I come back to reality. The priest, now gritting his teeth and manic at my seeming inability to cope with the fact that life will never go back to normal. Do you have any rope or handcuffs? Anything to restrain her with? I have some.
Sir, that's so personal.
Yeah.
How dare you ask that of me?
I have some bungee cords down in my car. I'll get them. I sprint to the stairs and below them, 3 at a time, grabbing the keys off the hook. I run to the car, locate the bungee cords in the trunk, and rush back upstairs. The priest has torn apart our medical cabinet, looking to apply first aid to my girlfriend's arm, and is applying pressure as I approach. I frantically tie a single bungee cord as a makeshift tourniquet to slow the bleeding. We carry her lifeless body to the bed and restrain her to the frame, both legs and one arm. Her head hangs limp. I wonder how long it will be before she turns back into that monster, but then she wakes up. She looks up at me, totally disoriented, then cries desperately as the pain sets in.
Just wakes up without a hand. And then your boyfriend and there's a strange man in your bedroom and you're missing a fucking hand.
I don't think I would survive a horror movie where you're the one being possessed, because it would be able to trick me so fucking easily. Like, there was a movie that Brianna
I would be
and I watched,
unstoppable.
yeah, called Grannies, where there is this like scene where one of the grannies was like outside a door and was like pretending to be like the husband of this one character and like screaming like he was being ripped apart and whatnot. And if I was behind a door and I heard that coming from the other side, I would run out. I wouldn't be able to like be. I don't know if I'd be able to console myself enough to be like,
oh no, my girlfriend's leveled up. I better run.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. I know this is bad. Believe me, we're working on it. As she sits there missing a hand.
Just bleeding.
There's a lump in my throat as I sit down on the bed, repeatedly kissing her on the forehead and attempting to assuage the impossible. She's in so much pain. I almost want the monster to take back control so that she cannot feel it anymore. Mercifully, she faints. Eyes still open, I point her chin up towards me and watch as that hollowness returns, from brown to yellow. Her pupils go opaque in their descent into madness once again. Tears and blood still on her face as she smiles. It's over. You have failed. Amen. That too familiar deep voice reverberates through a sinister grin. How is this winning in the eyes of this creature? It is restrained, more so than before. It knows something we don't. Something moves in my peripheral. It's my girlfriend's severed hand. Fingers paddling across the floor like a spider. A trail of sludge follows it as it reaches its destination, the spray bottle. It senses that we have seen it, its form turning to look at us with no ability to see. The hand leaps, tackling the spray bottle and tumbling awkwardly down the stairs. I'm speechless. We have to go after it. We can't let it get outside the house. I didn't realize that this was Thing's origin story. Violent thrashing from the bedroom. The priest. The knots are holding. You go after the hand. I'll perform the rites. Running down the stairs.
Don't leave that strange man with your demonic girlfriend. I mean,
Yeah.
I know she's possessed, but I mean, come on.
You don't know what's going to happen. Running down the stairs, I hear the distant murmurings of the ritual. Lord above, Redeemer of the world, have mercy on us. It's just a hand. It couldn't have gone far. It could have let the cat out. It could be worse. It could be worse.
You see, now when you think that, like, you've brought it upon yourself.
Yeah, you really have. I turn on the lights as I go. It's on the first floor. I tiptoe over black slime, extra cautious so as to not let any get on me. I'm reminded of the time my pet snake escaped and my girlfriend and I spent an entire afternoon looking for it. But looking for a snake isn't like looking for a cat. Cats can get underneath and above objects. Snakes can get inside of objects. So can a cat.
They're really going down the rabbit hole with this, like, comparison here.
Don't know the snake's name.
No. Also, where's the snake now? Did you ever find the snake?
Dead.
Now,
The snake's dead. A hand could be anywhere. In between the couch cushions, inside the laundry machines. It could already be outside. I have it cornered. It's behind the refrigerator. I act like I haven't noticed the trail of slime leading right there, and walk as casually as possible to the cabinet to fill a glass of water. My weapon is at the ready. I walk to the side of the refrigerator and peek behind it. Nothing. Suddenly, a prolonged silhouette covers the kitchen light, pouncing like an insect. The hand leaps from the top of the refrigerator, the perfect height to land right on my face. The hand, still wearing my girlfriend's class ring, attaches to my head, pulling my hair until it clenches a vice grip with a thumb behind my top layer of teeth, pressing pointer and ring finger into each eye socket. I drop my glass on the ground. It takes both hands to remove the hand from my face and throw it as hard as I can against the wall. My vision blurred, I pick my girlfriend's disoriented hand from the ground and run water over it in the sink. I splash water in my face and wash out my mouth as best I can. Harried, I fill a cooler with ice and water and throw the hand inside. I run back upstairs, hoping, maybe praying, that the priest did his job. It's silent.
I don't think the priest did his job.
No. It's silent except for the demonic mewls of the cat in the other room. The priest is hulking over my girlfriend, muttering something under his breath as he cradles the Bible in one hand and his fingers point in all directions in the other. Noticing me, he hurriedly shuts his Bible. But seeing one of the pages, I note that it is in fact not a Bible at all. Inside are what I can only imagine demonic scrawls and symbols would look like. But the priest has done his job. He says, "The demon has left her." Carefully placing my girlfriend in the back seat, I yell to the priest, "I'll pay him when we get back." Putting on my seatbelt, I look out the window and note a tattoo on his arm similar to a symbol I saw in the false Bible. Driving to the hospital like a husband would if his wife had gone into labor, I wonder if you can surgically reattach a hand like you can a finger. Then, I wonder if the hand even should be reattached. Do I need to ask the priest to perform pious rituals to just a hand? That's the end of part 4.
God, there's another part.
There's one final part.
I don't think that was a priest.
I don't think it was a priest
I don't think that was
either.
a Catholic priest.
I don't think so either.
Which, of course, like, why would a Catholic priest be hanging out on Craigslist? A demonic priest should probably be hanging out on Craigslist.
Dear God. Do you
No,
need to
dear
take
Satan.
Dear Satan. Do you need to take a break at all? Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
All right. Final part, everyone. They told me she was in a coma, and she may never wake up.
It's probably for the best.
The cops questioned me for hours, clearly unable to hide their suspicions as they scribbled notes behind clipboards. See, this is why you should have brought the priest with you. I don't think of myself as a good liar, but I was clearly distressed. I told them that a drunk driver hit us and ran us off the road, that her hand got stuck in the twisted metal, and I had to personally saw it off with a pocket knife. Her wound was a mangled stump, torn flesh hanging in ragged, uneven strips, so I guess they believe me. I just prayed no one found the severed hand we left locked in the cooler back at the house. I was traumatized by all that had happened, and I spent a lot of time in a doom spiral feeling sorry for myself. None of it made sense. I couldn't talk to anyone. The only person who would listen was on a ventilator and being fed through feeding tubes in a series of sterile hospital rooms. I couldn't sleep. On the rare occasion that I did, I dreamt that she spoke to me while still lying there, immobilized, just like she had before. But now, each night, she asked me to kill her, to pull the plug, to end her pain. I would wake up sweating, unsure of what was real. But she would always still be laying there, catatonic. When she developed the rash, harsh white and red splotches, they told me it was thrush. They didn't believe me when I insisted that I saw it move. Her skin became thinner somehow, almost translucent. I could see through it, and underneath were these living patches of obsidian. Mottled continents of the stuff would move if I touched her. No one else could see it. They thought I was crazy, and I felt crazy, but it was alive. I gave up on trying to convince anyone. I feared they would kick me out, or worse, institutionalize me. Besides, it was mesmerizing, the movement under her skin. That's like a Hosier lyric.
Yeah, he definitely would write something about that.
It made it somehow easy to stay calm. I would lose hours just staring into it. So I was hardly listening to the doctor when they told me they were sending us home. I cared for her myself. Soon after arriving home, her body started to secrete a black ooze, the same kind that had filled our bedroom so many nights before. This time, however, it didn't evaporate during the daytime. I was told a coma is not the same as sleep, but the slime only ever came out when she was asleep in the past. So I cleaned, and time soon after blended together. Eventually, I fell asleep. My dream was all dark until I knew I was in my bedroom. I sat up against the pillows, my eyes drawn to a hunched shape in the corner. A man faced away from me, his spine protruding like knuckles. He contorted his knees somehow. They bent backwards, and his face was looking at me upside down. I want to run, but the blankets felt as heavy as lead, and I could not move. He gallops towards me impossibly, like a contortionist on all fours. He is too fast. Getting closer, his head spins on a swivel to face me up right now, and there are 2 crimson pits. The pits are his eyes, and up close, they look like rotted apples. Blackness, where the stem should be, goes on infinitely, and I know that is where he can see me. He smiles, a crocodile-like smile, sharp teeth lusting for my flesh. I brace for the bite that will drain me of life when I wake up. I looked around in a daze, cursed at myself for falling asleep, sprinted to the bedroom, slid uncontrollably on a lake of black liquid, and believe me, I know how crazy this sounds. She had transformed. Something lay in the bed where she had once lay, but it was not my girlfriend. A massive balloon of skin and hair, translucent skin still revealing the swirling black. A belabored wheezing filled the room like a haunted metronome. The bed springs groaned with the rise and fall of its breath. I thought she was gone forever. This thing must have eaten her. But then I saw the eye, tethered to the side of tortured skin, green with flecks of gold. Beautiful, intelligent. It blinked sluggishly at me. She was awake. She was alive. I didn't know what else to do, So I talked to her. I told her that, quote, this too shall pass. I hoped I sounded convincing. We developed a system where 1 blink meant yes and 2 blinks meant no. This became helpful because I could clean her form without hurting her. The black ooze overwhelmed me and now covered me from head to toe. The bedroom was permanently steeped in the slime, and if I stood in one place too long, it seemed to firm up and glue my feet to the floor. I tracked it all through the house. I was tired, but I felt like if I fell asleep again, it would consume me and I would never wake up. I don't know how many days I stayed awake. I know now, and I am embarrassed to admit, but the slime on my skin had an effect on my brain. It was a form of hypnosis. The more that it got on my skin, the less tethered to reality I felt. It took me way too long to figure that out. I was a helpless marionette suspended in a Cronenberg movie, and I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. Eventually, the perpetual daze loop was interrupted by the doorbell. It scared the ever-living shit out of me, and I prayed whoever it was would go away. But then they started banging on the door. I decided I needed to go look out the window and see who it was. The priest's car, blocking mine in the driveway.
Craigslist priest.
He's back!
He's back!
Let's go! He's here to send both of you to hell. Why hadn't I called him already? He sounded like he would break a window, so I let him in. He wasted no time. Why didn't you answer my calls? He demanded, then brushed right past me with his briefcase and inspected the first stale puddle of the black ichor from hell. My dehydrated lips stuck together like my mouth hadn't produced saliva in days. The priest stared at me, shook his head, reached into his briefcase, wet with a rag and brown-blue fluid. Wipe your skin with this, then get changed, he said, clearly concerned, handing me the soaking rag. It smelled like olive oil, and black smoke plumed from where it touched the bile on my hands. Strangely, it did not feel hot. What is it? I asked. It's called Chrism. It will banish the mire. Stop. That voice again. I ignored it. But as I cleaned my hands and wrists with the rag, it spoke with more and more urgency. Sleep. The voice in my head that commanded me to do things. It was easy to listen to, like it was saying things I would have thought to do anyway. But now, the voice became softer, more distant, like it was coming down a long hallway. That's when my vision tunneled. I went temporarily blind and had to stabilize myself against the wall. I was confident I would pass out. Then, I could see myself, like an out-of-body experience. There I was, at the grocery store, in the produce section, spreading the black mire on the stacks of potatoes. Not the potatoes!
The perfect food! What'd the potatoes ever do to you?
But then, light, more light, and I'm back in the foyer again. It was the strangest feeling, like I had just woken up from a long dream. Had I done that? To the potatoes?
Not the taters.
I couldn't remember. I opened the dresser and found dry clothes, put them on. Suddenly, it was like experiencing silence for the first time. Like a schizophrenic tinnitus was cured. Reality came flooding back. Someone is here. Yes, the priest. He looked like he may as well be the second coming of Jesus Christ as he moved confidently throughout the house. But that image soon faded when he cornered past me into the kitchen, rooted around under the sink, produced trash bags, tore off several for himself, then handed me the roll.
Boyfriend practices self-care for the first time, sees God. Babe, I took a shower today. I feel like a new man. Hey, you know what? I feel productive enough. I'm going to clean the house.
And then I'm going to read the Bible from start to finish. You've been busy, huh? He asked. Sober now, I realized what he was talking about. I was in awe. Someone had spread the black liquid everywhere in the house. Yeah. It paved the walls, the floors, the toilet, the ceiling where I could reach, the sinks.
Filth. Filthy.
Holy shit. I did that. I didn't remember any of it. Chrism won't help at this stage, he said matter-of-factly, then tore a hole in one of the bags and pulled it over his head like a makeshift poncho. This late in the incubation, there's nothing we can do. Incubation? What the hell? Yes. He pulled trash bags over his hands one by one. I'm sorry. I eradicated the possession with the rites, but I didn't anticipate the parasite. My mind started to feel like mush again. The priest continued. The demon, I suspect summoned by the solar cult, the one that possessed her, it was host to a pain elemental, and all it had to do was offer its incarnation in a young host, corporeal flesh, a chance to feel real pain, and it took them up on it. I ripped a hole in my trash bag too big for it to be of any use. This was too much to take in. We had gone through hell, and he hadn't fixed her. Hopelessness washed over me yet again. Look, man, I don't care what it is. Demon, ghost, evil fucking spirit. You just saw her. She's unrecognizable. Try the rites again. That won't work. But sensing my distress, he motioned for me to follow him to the bedroom. But just so you don't second guess me later, I'll show you. He dug through his briefcase and produced the tome, then flipped to the right page, began reading. Lord above, hear my call. My girlfriend's one eye began blinking frantically. 2 blinks. A pause. Then 2 blinks. No. 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 Then she winced as a fresh mound of skin bubbled out from the surface of what I now knew was an egg. From the mound formed a slit, which ripped open, revealing sharp white teeth and a cascade of blood. I recognized it instantly. The crocodile smile from my dream. The tension was killing me. What was it going to do? I was too scared to move, scared it would talk. If it did, I knew I would scream. It was still. Then, like a snake unhinging its jaws, the mouth opened, a cavernous maw, impossibly wide, until finally it bit down. Hard, blood, red blood, waterfalled from the bite over the black layer of mire. A tear formed in my girlfriend's eye. I reached over and slammed the tome shut while it was still in the priest's hands. I had seen enough. It was one thing to accept that she was still alive inside. It was another to accept that this egg was her body, and she could still feel pain. When the dust from the tome started to settle, the mouth mercifully let go. Then it smiled that wicked smile that still haunts my dreams to this day. Listen, it will feed on pain until she dies, the priest said into my ear. We can antagonize it all you want. It will do no good. I was incredulous. Oh, so you've got a million ways to banish a literal servant of Satan, but you can't do shit about the egg for a fucking hate leech? I shouted, wiping my girlfriend's eye with a crinkling trash bag covered hand. Yes, I'm afraid. That's fucking bullshit, man. I stood up defiantly and he grabbed me by both shoulders. Focus. She can still hear you in there if you want her to say... Mother of God. Focus. She can still hear you in there if you want to say your goodbyes. Once she has passed. Once she has passed? I yelled, immediately wishing she hadn't heard me say that. I paced around the room, punched a crippled star into the drywall. The priest kept one eye on me, one on her. Just looking in 2 different directions. He did look sorrowful, standing there with crossed arms. I took some deep breaths. I hated him, but I had no choice but to trust him. I reassured myself that he was just trying to help. I left the bedroom and opened the cabinet where we kept the liquor. Thank God. I hadn't spread the mire in here yet, so I poured a shot of tequila. Half as much went onto the bar cart as I did into the glass. I barely tasted it. My hands were already pouring again, but they were shaking too much, so I gave up and took the next swig straight from the bottle.
You know what kind of cocktail he should make for himself?
What?
A Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
Burn
That's where I
it
thought
down.
she was.
Burn it down.
That's where I thought it was coming to. I heard a knock. A series of knocks, actually. I stood completely still. The warmth from the liquor spread deeper in my throat. I listened. Heard only agonized breathing coming from the bedroom, but then another knock. 1, 2, 3. 3. Someone at the door? No. It sounded closer than that. Muffled knocks, coming from the cooler. The one that stashed my girlfriend's severed hand. The same hand that had terrorized the both of us, hunting us just as we had hunted it, all through this house. To avoid mass hysteria, we never brought it into the hospital. If the staff had seen it, we knew there would be no way in hell she would be treated. The cooler was inexplicably touched by the black film that covered everything else in the house, and a knock was new. Before the exorcism, it was never organized enough for a knock. It was scratching, always scratching, at the walls inside. Had it woken up at the same time she did inside the egg? I took 2 steps to the cooler and stooped down next to it, knocked back. 1, 2, 3. It responded. 1, 2, 3. I pulled off the tape and wrenched the lid open, not caring if it leaped out at me and vice gripped my throat.
It's like, sure, why not? Quick death.
Yeah, we're already here. Let's do it. Then there it was, flat, splayed like a spider with human skin in a pool of its own blood. It sensed freedom and catapulted itself at the inner walls to try and escape. It failed and splashed back down into the blood. It was much slower than it was before. Exhausted? I wasn't afraid of it. I picked it up. It curled into a fist in my hands, as if it was comfortable there. I cleaned it under the sink. Blood and water refused to mix with the bile that hopelessly clogged the drain. It even let me dry it with a kitchen towel. It was her, I decided. Not the demon. Not the parasite.
Girlfriend. My girlfriend, the hand.
I could take this as so many different ways right now, but I'm not going to. Put it back in the cooler. The priest demanded uneasily, his eyes wide and glued to the hand. She somehow sensed him, then leaped to the kitchen island. Her class ring clinked on the countertop as she landed. Wait, I said, holding the priest back. We both stared, slack-jawed, as it inchwormed its way across the table. It fumbled over an old magazine and phone cables toward what it wanted. A pen. It wanted to write. It held the pen to the paper, but it was struggling. The first note came out illegible, and I was petrified that we would never actually learn what it was trying to say. It had no wrist to help prop itself up.
And also, it was her non-dominant hand.
Yeah, yeah,
She's doing her best.
exactly. You kind of got to meet her halfway here.
Like, maybe you should have cut off her dominant hand. Maybe you get something legible out of it.
Possibly. So I held it up, hovered it over the magazine until it was done. One scribbled, one hastily drawn word. Chrism. It's her, I said, ripping the page from the magazine and shoving it maybe too hard into the priest's chest. He read it, nodded knowingly. Yes, I'm not surprised that she knows what it fears, but the very fact that she knows what chrism even is means that it's too late. The parasite and her mind are already one. I was no longer listening. I nearly bustled my ass.
Bustled my ass.
Bustled my ass. I nearly busted my ass sliding on wet bile, running back to the bedroom. I slammed the door shut, locked it. The priest was hot on my heels, banging on the door behind me. Stop, he demanded. She already let it in. Chrism will merely delay the inevitable. I prayed the briefcase had no combination lock. None. I dug out the vial of chrism, dropped a single drop on the living mound of skin and hair. The black swirling under her skin stopped. And all the time, I cared for this thing. That had never happened. My eyes never left the mouth, always expecting it to bite down again. But at the touch of the chrism, it fled, somehow beneath folds of skin. Survival instinct. It was true. It was scared. A mad smile formed on my face. Then, the faintest glimmer of hope. At the center of the smoking drip, the lighter shade of my girlfriend's skin. The priest kicked down the door. He was stronger than he looked. I fell on my trash bag covered ass right into the slime. You didn't let her finish. It's fire, not chrism that will kill it. Look. He handed me another page torn from the magazine. A longer message this time. Light the bed on fire and run. I looked deeply into her one eye. I was so confused. None of it made any sense. Why did she change her mind? I bent down close to her one eye, spoke right into it. Look, honey, I trust that you know what you need. I don't understand why you said chrism first, but if it's fire that you need, then fire it is. I told her I loved her, and the pain will be over soon. The priest lit a match, held it below a rolled up newspaper until it caught me and formed a makeshift torch. He handed it to me. He wanted me to be the one to put her out of her misery, to have the blood on my hands. I was about to toss it to her too, but that's when she blinked twice in the firelight. Twice. Twice for no. I stopped. I threw the newspaper to the hardwood, stamped it out, polluted steam from melting plastic filling my nostrils. What are you doing? The priest shouted as if I was insane. She blinked no, goddammit. Of course she did. Why would you want to be lit on fire? The hand is her. The eye is her. You said the hand wrote to light her on fire, but the eye said no. I tore the new note out of my pocket. The priest tried to swipe it from my hands, but I turned and evaded his reach. Scribbled, hastily drawn handwriting like the first one. But something imperceptibly different. On the first one, the hand could hardly press down enough to make a mark. The words on this page were steady and even. The amount of pressure applied would have been impossible for her. She hadn't written this note. The priest had lied. Get out, I declared, pointing to the door. He put up both hands to placate me. Calm down. Burning is standard protocol. You've seen what happened to your house. If it gets out, get the fuck out. I shoved him hard in the chest. He crashed back into the wall. I followed, grabbed him by his coat, and threw him to the splash tile at the front door. You don't understand, he grimaced. She is the host. He feeds off her suffering. You have to kill both, or it can pass to the next available host. Then if it spreads, He was stammering, distressed. I get it. So that was the plan all along, huh? Kill her to then kill it. But you left out the part where you could save her, huh? Then what about me? I was covered from head to toe in the mind-melting black stuff when you got here. Was I the next host? Were you going to kill me too? We're almost done.
You have my permission to light me on fire, Darryl, if I turn into a giant egg creature and I can only communicate through blinks. Like, you could just set me on fire.
At
It's
some
fine.
point, if it turns out that you are suffering, I will put you out of your
Yeah,
misery.
I'm a giant egg creature and I only have one eye. I'm suffering.
At that moment, my girlfriend's severed hand skidded across the counter. And as deft as a spider, fingers moving in a blur like little dog's legs, it crossed the room and climbed the priest's pant leg. He reached for it, but
Punch him in the
vaulted.
balls.
That's the only time that you have permission for me to grab a priest's balls. Fingernails dug deep into his eyes in a determined claw. Blood immediately boiled out of his sockets like red tears. He was screaming and fell to the ground, blinded, until he managed to rip it off. The hand scurried beneath the couch. I figured I shouldn't wait for him to decide his god wanted me dead too, so I hit him over the head with his briefcase. It connected, and he lay knocked out cold in the black slime. It began to grow over him, and I knew soon it would cover him completely. Venom?
Special appearance by Venom.
I opened the briefcase and a myriad of contents unrecognizable to me spilled out onto the floor. Then, there it was. The vial of chrism. It was unlike any liquid I had seen. Cities of blue, blinking in perfectly organized lines, greeting purple swirls and glittered dots with excited light. My mind was racing. My heart pounded in my chest. I still couldn't think straight, but he wanted fire. She wanted chrism. Good enough for me. I opened the vial, poured it over her form, arms raised to their zenith as I spread it liberally over her mounds of tortured skin. A dense mist.
Lotion on the skin. It puts the chrism on the skin.
A little chrism.
Or it gets the hand again.
Does that feel nice? A dense mist steamed again where the chrism met the ichor, and the room was soon fully obscured with black smoke. I couldn't see anything, and I thought my mind was playing tricks. but I could hear her, the smallest choke of a voice I hadn't heard in so long.
Help.
She was buried deep in mist and flesh. I was in it up to my elbows, not caring that I was breathing it in until I felt bone, her skin, the curve of a shoulder. She was intact, breathing, lying sideways in otherworldly gore. I pulled her out. I'll never forget how light she felt. I brought her to the shower, cleaned the wounds where the creature's teeth had bit her. I soaked a towel in the last of the chrism and wrapped her in it. Her body became obscured by plumes of black smoke one last time. I was worried that she could suffocate, but then I heard a groan behind me, the waking of the priest. I turned. He was almost completely covered in the black slime when his bloodshot eyes bulged open. Then he was on his feet. "What have you done?" he shouted as he ran to the bathroom. "I saved her life, no thanks to you," I yelled back. "You fool! You let it loose!" I turned the water off, careful to lay my girlfriend's head down gently, and followed him to the bedroom. He was kneeling, praying, his bloodied eyes wide open on his knees beside the bed. Trash bags askew, his bare skin was soaked in mire in a thousand places. Then he nodded to himself. I heard a hushed amen. "What are you doing?" I asked. He ignored me, kept working. He was determined, and when he was done, he turned to me. He had crafted the form of a newborn calf. He cradled it in his arms like a proud farmer. Ooze bridged from the creature to his hands and slimy tendrils. When he came closer, I could see the animal in full. It was the one from my dream. That was no animal. No. It would grow into a man. His knees would bend the wrong way, and when his eyes opened, they would be crimson, like rotten apples, and the black where the stem should be would go on infinitely.
Demon!
"Demon!" he said in a tone too severe. "Promise me, after it is done, burn us both." He handed me a box of matches. I meant to say something, but nothing came out. All I could do was nod. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. I ignored the voice in my head. The priest was praying out loud again. "Father, I heed your instructions. Pass this evil to me. Stop him. Kill him." He held the creature's nose to a piece of his arm skin that was covered in slime. It sniffed for a moment, then without opening its eyes, took a bite. The creature's teeth cut through his skin like a hot knife. It ate him alive. He screamed for a long time. Too long, until finally all he could do was twitch. It was a merciless death. Then it woke up. Red eyes. Crocodile smile. It had gained strength from eating him. It had grown significantly in size. The eyes beckoned me. Approach. I was already holding a match to the striking strip on the side of the box. Stop. I lit the match. The eyes widened, and infinite blackness commanded me. Discard. I closed my eyes, and death was running at me like a hound. I threw the match blindly forward, and I was sure it would be close enough now to eat my hand. But when I opened them again, the creature was engulfed. The eyes beckoned me from behind the flames. Join me. I closed my eyes again. I turned and ran out of the room blindly. The bed creaked and groaned as the creature flailed. I felt my way to the bathroom, scooped up my girlfriend, and intended to run out the front door. But then, the black goop that had painted the walls, floors, and furniture evaporated in an instant. It was like someone flipped a switch, and the room went from night to day. I could see our art in the walls again. The bright orange of our standing mixer in the kitchen. The sinks gurgled as water that had pooled was now free to drain. It was dead. Several months later, since then, my girlfriend lives. She told me it was like sleep paralysis, or like the anesthesiologist got it wrong and she had woken up during an operation. There was pain, so much pain, but she could not cry out. She dreamed of a personal hell, which took the form not of flames, but of watching life carry on without her. She saw her friends die, me die, our cat die. Oh, I forgot about the cat.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything because I feel like I talked about the cat too much. But I'm just like, what the fuck happened to the cat after they went to the hospital? Was it still in its carrier? Like the hand was still in the cooler? Because it seems like he didn't really care about them.
Yeah. We think the parasite showed her these images to feed off her pain. She was forced to live multiple lives worth of suffering while entombed in the egg. This has clearly taken a toll on her mind. She's distant and can't or won't tell me what she's thinking about. I think she's seen things no human has ever seen. I think she knows what it feels like to be truly alone. But she lives. Every day a little bit of her old self shines through. This too shall pass. I spent much of the last several months thinking about the priest. He sacrificed himself to save us, it seems, because he knew what the creature could have turned into. I wondered what the world would look like if it was all covered in the mire. I looked to his tome for answers, but the next time I checked it, all the pages had gone blank, like they were linked magically to his life or something. I don't know. The only piece of evidence that he was ever even here is a flap of skin that the monster left behind.
Clean your plate, man.
Jesus Christ. The piece of skin where he had the symbol of his organization tattooed. I treated it with formaldehyde to halt decomposition. I've spent many nights unable to sleep, sitting up in bed, staring down at the skin. I know that sounds insane. I know none of this probably makes sense to you. Believe me, it wasn't that long ago that I would have scoffed at the idea of secret societies and demons. But the part that bothers me the most, I think the priest could talk directly with God. The end.
So what do you know? A demon from hell is highly flammable. Who knew?
Who would have thought?
That seems like a design flaw to me.
It really does. I mean, there's also like, the different layers of hell that are cold and whatnot.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess you could
I guess.
freeze it, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? We didn't venture down there. That was so much longer than I thought it was going to be. I am sorry, everybody.
10
this is
years have passed.
10 years have passed since on this couch. I've missed my birthday.
Again. At least you weren't sick this time.
That's true. Like, what was it like?
We missed my birthday, Daryl. What about my birthday? All those birthdays. Oh God, the rabbits.
Oh my God. Shit. Well, everybody, this was a lot of fun. I think that next time I'm going to vet the story a little bit harder because this episode has gone on for 2 hours now.
Oh God.
It's almost 9:00. And, well, Hools, that's going to do it for this episode of Spooky Reddit Stories. I'm looking forward to this month. We're going to have some really fun surprises. Stay tuned. Babe, thank you so much for coming on. Hello? Where the hell did you go? Babe? Ah!